Here we have the outside of the Swift Fairway 635. If we first go to the gas locker, you'll see that we have room in here for 2 bottles. This particular caravan runs a crash regulator, so with having this, it basically means that you do not have to turn your gas bottles off for travel if you wish. You will see that there is also a different pigtail fitted as well. This is a crash pigtail, so at this point here it has a valve, so when we come off the regulator and then screw into the gas bottle and then tighten with a gas spanner, when we turn the gas on, we then need to push and hold this button in for approximately 3-4 seconds, and that will then allow the gas into the van. You'll also see that we are running a Trima duo control as well, so if we have 2 gas bottles connected, we can switch between the 2. If this gas bottle was to become severed in any way, this valve here would recognise the sudden drop in gas pressure and cut the gas off at this point here. If any other pipe work was to be severed inside the caravan, again, the valve in the regulator itself would also cut the gas off. Sometimes this particular crash valve here can be triggered if you go over a bump quite violently. So if you've turned your gas bottle on, held this button in and then gone into your van and you still have no gas in the van, just press and hold this reset button for again 3-4 seconds to allow it in. You'll know that you've got gas because up here will have gone green instead of it being red. As we then move round, we come to the flue for the Aldi boiler. We do not need to do anything with this, just make sure that nothing is obstructing it, and then water into the van at this point here. This van has an onboard water pump, so all that's on the end of this hose here is just a small little filter. To remove it, just pull on the trigger, give it a bit of a wiggle and out it will pop, and then push and hear it click back in again. We then have the location area for the leisure battery, and then mains hookup just here, and then sitting just behind the mains hookup point is the location for the red isolator key for the motor movers. We then have the Thetford cassette toilet. So this top bit here is for your flush water, so this is where you fill up your header tank. So in here you add your pink solution and then top the rest up with water, either using a watering can or a hose pipe. Do not travel with this completely full or it will slosh around everywhere and make a heck of a mess inside. So to drain this down for travel or winterization, if we now go to where the cassette is located and we just look up here, you'll see a little black hose, and if we get that, all we do is we pull the end out and it will then drain the contents of the header tank down. The cassette slides out just by lifting up on the handle and then pulling towards you. Add your blue solution in at this point here, and it also empties from here. Remember that when emptying it, when you pour it away, make sure you hold this button in because it will release the vacuum inside. It is also a good idea to keep this bit lubricated using Thetford silicone lubricant spray. And these are all now on wheels with extendable handles. Make sure that when putting it back in, it locks into place just here. We then have the grey water drains just there, so waste master underneath, and then attach your convoluted pipe and then drop it in. We then have access underneath the bed, and also in there is the spare wheel. As we move around the back, you will see we have 2 rails for a 2-lay bike rack, and then the location of the rear corner steadies. As we then come round, we have the 2 vents for the fridge freezer. Do not need to do anything with these again, but just make sure that nothing is obstructing them. Do not spray a lot of water at them when washing the caravan. Beside the door, you will find the weight plate, etc. just there. On that, it will also have tyre sizes and pressures, and also the alley wheel nut torque settings. We then have external main socket, and then we also have an external TV bracket, so we can have a TV in the awning. You will see that we have aerial fly lead point, 12 volt, and main supply just here. And then we have access underneath the bench seat just here. And external barbecue point. If you are going to use this, you will need to get yourself a barbecue adapter. It's about this long. Attach the hose of the barbecue to one end with a Jubilee clip, and then the other end will then plug into this point here and lock into place. This will then allow you to turn the gas on. To release it, just push on the collar, push it in, and it will then pop back out again. And then just beneath that is the front corner steady winding point.